Are plastic bowls bad for your cat? Can they give chin acne? Let's explore a few key mistakes when it comes to feeding your cat. 10 of them, in fact. I promise we'll get to chin acne in a bit, but I want to get one of the most common feeding mistakes out of the way first. It makes total sense to place food and water bowls near each other. For one thing, it makes it easier for your cat. They shouldn't be forced to roam from one end of the house to the other if they want to have both a drink and food. How would you feel if you drank a sip of wine then had to walk up the stairs to eat your food? The problem is, your cat thinks that water that is too close to food is contaminated. If their food bowl is next to their water bowl, they might become convinced that the water is unsafe to drink. So they won't drink, and cats really do need to drink water. So this is a big problem. The perfect balance is to keep both their food bowl and water bowl in the same room, probably the kitchen, but in different spots, so your poor fluffy friend won't fear contamination. As a fun bonus, most cats prefer running water. It feels like a stream, and that invokes the idea of freshness. Some consider getting a water fountain instead of a bowl. Leaving dry food out overnight probably seems quite convenient. In fact, I'm fairly sure I'd recommended you do that before. It's particularly handy if you've got a cat who just loves to angrily call out at night, as it gives them something distracting to munch on. But there are downsides as well. If you have a cat who isn't super good at regulating their food intake, you've basically given them an all-access pass to gobble up as much as they want whenever they want to. This can lead to obesity, and while a chubby cat is a cute cat, an overweight cat can sadly be an unhealthy cat. If your furball is prone to hoovering up food, like they think they might never get the chance to eat again, it might be wise to not leave piles of dry food out overnight, despite some of the benefits that come with doing so. If I might, I've got a true story from my own life about my own cat to share. My ginger short hair, Artemis, spoiler alert, it has a happy ending. Sadly, he had an unexpected seizure. The vets could not figure out why. He seemed healthy. Sometime later, he had another one. Following the second seizure, the vet said something truly unexpected. He told me that it might be the result of the cat eating too much junk food. I had no idea that food could cause something as serious as seizures. It turns out that not all cat food is created equal. Many commercial brands are packed with fillers, artificial additives, and all manner of low-quality ingredients that simply don't provide the nutrition your cat needs. And in the case of my boy Artemis, I saw firsthand what a huge impact eating too much junk for too long can have. Another reminder, Artemis is great right now. He fell off the couch earlier while stretching, but otherwise he's good. When buying cat food, look for high-quality protein sources, with minimal carbohydrates and definitely no artificial preservatives. Your cat is what's called an obligate carnivore because they all are. This means their diet really needs to be rich in animal-based proteins with no plant fillers. Just like how you cannot survive off McDonald's and McDonald's alone, your cat sadly cannot live off cat food of this poor quality. As touched upon earlier, dry food is highly convenient. Being able to just fill up a bowl to the brim and leave it means your cat always has access to food whenever the hunger strikes. Though as I said earlier, if your fluffball struggles with portion control, this isn't to be recommended. But even if your cat doesn't munch up too much while sitting and is happy to nibble away at the full bowl of dry food over an extended period, it's still not advisable to rely on dry food and dry food alone, as there are several long-term health issues associated with this. Dry food has low moisture content. I imagine I didn't need to tell you that, but it's so low that even if your cat constantly drinks water, they could wind up dehydrated. So they do need moisture in their food as well as in their water, and in turn, dehydration can lead to urinary tract problems and sadly even kidney disease. It's crucial to fold wet food into your cat's diet. There are certainly benefits to dry food. You definitely shouldn't cut it out of their diet totally, but a healthy balance of both is the way to go. We all love giving our cat a tiny little treat now and then. They're simply too cute to ignore. Their happiness makes us happy. It's a joy to see their little faces as they nibble up their treats, to see their begging and pleading crumble away only to be replaced by ecstasy. But just like how you shouldn't give too many treats to a child or even yourself, you shouldn't give too many treats to cats because that can lead to obesity and perhaps more seriously, nutritional imbalances. A really helpful figure is 10%. Treats should never take up more than 10% of your cat's daily caloric intake because you shouldn't stop giving them treats entirely. That'd be awful. They don't deserve that. Just keep it under 10%. If you want to give your cat some kind of reward, though, and worry about reducing their treats for bonding reasons, it's worth noting that your fluff ball loves playtime and attention as much as snacks, possibly even more so. So spending 15 minutes having fun with them or petting them is a great calorie-free alternative. When you cook, they come pleading. They come begging. It's something all parents know far too well. You think you're alone listening to a podcast in peace as you prep that chicken, but then their cute little faces come slinking around the corner with a desperate look in their eyes that scream, "Please share your roast dinner with me. I've not eaten in almost 6 minutes. However shall I cope?" But while it can be tempting to share your feed with them, sadly a lot of human food can be very toxic to cats, with some of the chief offenders being dairy, chocolate, onions, and even garlic. Perhaps our cats have secretly been vampires this whole time. Shockingly, even some fruits can be dangerous, most notably grapes. Guess you'll have to keep that bottle of wine all to yourself. Oh no, what a shame! If you're not in the mood to poison your cat, it's best to stick to cat-safe snacks. Here's a situation you might be familiar with. You're in the kitchen, your cat is fussing around your ankles endlessly. Clearly they want something. So you think you'll treat them. You open the fridge and grab a little something to give them. But oddly, they turn their nose up at it. A cat rejecting food? What on earth is going on? The answer is temperature. Cats massively prefer their food to be slightly warmed, or at least room temperature. Not only are cold foods unappealing to them, but they can be quite literally hard to digest. If there's wet food you're trying to get them to eat that they've deemed too cold, try warming it up before serving it to them. Though crucially, don't microwave it. That's a touch too far and creates hot spots. Just let it sit at room temperature for a while, or possibly in a dish of warm, but not hot, water to get it ready. Ever notice your cat turning up their nose at cold food straight from the fridge? That's because cats prefer their meals at room temperature or slightly warmed. Cold food can be unappealing and harder to digest. Cleaning out food bowls can feel a little pointless at times. You wash the bowl, and then in mere moments you're putting more food in. It's easy to fall into the trap of simply pouring yet more straight in, not worrying too much about the slight remains from the last meal that linger. For almost opposite reasons, it can feel pointless washing the water bowl. All it had in it was water, and water washes stuff anyway. But would you eat from a dirty plate, or would that disgust you? Chances are you wouldn't. So why should your cat have to? Bacteria and even mold can brew, and unless you have magic eyes, you can't quite see bacteria. So while it may feel like the bowls are simply clean enough from the cat having consumed everything in them, if left improperly washed, bacteria could steal build. And eating that can lead to infections of digestive issues. Wash your cat's food and water bowls daily and properly to keep them clean and safe. Stainless steel and ceramic bowls are easier to clean and don't harbor bacteria like plastic does. So those would be my personal recommendations. I know I teased a fascinating fact about plastic cat bowls coming up, but that's not even it. People have food preferences. We all have certain things we don't like the taste or texture of, and we like those preferences to be respected. If you don't enjoy mushrooms, you don't want somebody to force you to eat one. Cats are no different. Sometimes they don't like certain things, and it can be annoying. But where possible, you should embrace what they do and don't like and endeavor to give them the former. Otherwise, they might not eat as much as they need to, and of course that's a problem. With that said, sometimes you might have no choice but to feed them something you don't like, for health reasons. To return to my earlier story with Artemis, we had to pivot from mainstream cat food